Hey everyone, this is Stingray coming at you from the road where I am skirting the edge of a massive storm system, and I've got almost 1,200 miles to go before I reach my intended destination. I just wanted to give a quick minute to once again compliment my vehicle and the confidence that it inspires when I'm driving through circumstances like this. I love to be able to open up the extended sunroof and see the rain pass overhead, and sometimes see the lightning flash overhead, of course peripherally, because I'm mostly 100% focused on the road in front of me. And along the way, it sure does help to have a clean view. And that line of visibility when it's raining, of course, on the top is taken care of. In the front, the windshield wipers, I've already told you, are automated. And I've got some rear windshield wipers that can go whenever I activate them. The only thing about the rear wipers is they aren't auto rain sensing. And if I were to re-engineer this vehicle, I would build it so that the front wipers, when they were actuated, would actuate the rear wiper maybe on the third front pass or something like that. That way it didn't just trigger automatically for something else strange. That way, if it were set up on an automated system with the front wipers, that way you really wouldn't have to do anything manually to activate those wipers. Not a big deal as long as you're familiar with your instrument. And this instrument has an instrument panel. And if you're familiar with the instrument panel for your instrument, this instrument being the Jeep, which helps me to carry out the precision, coordinated efforts that I'm bringing to you to show you wellness and conservation, that basically can inspire all of the confidence that you need when things help you out in the face of adversity. So right now, like I said, I'm just skirting the edge of a storm system. Sometimes I pass directly through the storm and it parts in ways that I can't describe. A lot of times I've been being chased, and on my heels was a massive snowstorm with ice freezing over highways almost right after I passed through these territories. So this adventure for me with my Jeep has been living the dream. And like I said, I just wanted to take a quick minute. This is obviously more than a minute, but I'm on the way to help out in the wild, and also after that to recover myself in the wild by basically taking people into an area where conversations can be had, where we're not able to just go, well, I really don't want to waste my breath on any of this anymore, goodbye, and then basically hang up. Or the ever so famous, tell them to write me a letter and then I'll write them back, and then they never write you back. Those are the kind of things that we're trying to mitigate as I'm skirting the edge of the storm, flying through the eye of danger, basically unafraid. And that level of confidence can only come when all of your instruments are working in precision order. So, maintaining your instrument is definitely one way to ensure that you're going to have a clean shoot anytime you need to use that instrument to fire upon the adversary, whether it be the overwhelming amount of distance that you've got to travel. To me, that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to hear a book. It's an opportunity to watch the skyline. It's an opportunity to be deep in thought for a long time. It's an opportunity when I have a signal to talk with people when it's safe to do so. When my attention requires such focus that I absolutely can't carry on a two-way conversation, I'm just not going to call. It's not safe. So all of these things are something that I take into consideration, being that I act as if I am a professional when I'm behind the wheel, and I do that so that I can accomplish what I need to accomplish professionally without hesitation and in favor of whoever it is or whatever it is that I'm transporting, whether it's the message of good and awesome awareness of nature, or whether it's awesome, amazing nature in the form of humanity and or pets or whatever in this vehicle. The fact is, this instrument is the number one instrument that's brought me the confidence to carry out that which I've absolutely enjoyed doing since the moment I was able to experience freedom. Getting a vehicle was something that I did as most of my teachings were given to me in that basically I would look for the deal, the best deal. Well, let me tell you, the best deal is the thing that calls to your heart. This Grand Cherokee, it's a 2017, and it's the adaptive cruise control, for an example. Every time I pass by a mile marker, I'll just basically shift down the speed that I'm traveling at as I continue to focus on what's in front of me. That's another thing that could be automated, by the way. The GPS on my screen, it says 50 miles an hour. I assume it updated right around that 50 mile an hour sign. Imagine if adaptive cruise control were carried out so smartly and could be retrofitted so easily that it just took maybe a processor upgrade to upgrade the system that's already there to work with the other system that's already there. That's kind of like us.
In half a mile.
That's kind of like us in our conversations, and whether we're able to hear the external influencers or whether we only have our own internal guidance that will tell us, I didn't used to go this way in the past, I'm not going to go this way. Never once thinking that the system that is tied into all the system might also be helping to avoid traffic because it's tied into a navigation. It's tied into a traffic avoidance system. All of these things are things that sound like a whole bunch of unidentifiable, rambling, disconnected topics that are not worth your engagement if you don't understand what I'm talking about. But if you understand what I'm talking about, then not only are you going to make that turn when you're required to turn without overlooking that fact that you're about to turn, and you will also do so while being aware of everyone else's circumstances. And so in that manner, what we can do is help one another at all times. If someone asks, hey, what if we integrated these auto-sensing rain wipers so that the rear wiper would stop automatically when the other wiper stopped? Then I wouldn't have had to manually turn it off right now, realizing that it possibly hasn't been raining for a while. All of these incorporated ideas are just thoughts, Whether you're watching this for the inspirational aspect of hearing about spirituality, nature, the things that are happening in nature that may not be so inspiring except for to inspire us to take action. If we recognize, hey, nature really is struggling, I want to take action. That crazy guy Ray says less is more. What does that mean? How can I help? How can I help spread the word? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you click on the description link, also be sure to click on subscribe. Like this video, give it the thumbs up, dislike it, do whatever you want to do to engage with it, but do something that's meaningful to you in a way that helps you to set your energy free. Free is difficult to protect when everyone wants to take it for free. I've had a lot of people want to take from my attention for free without ever considering the difficulties that it takes to accomplish what I'm accomplishing, in spite of all of the other things that I'm maintaining conversationally. So when you tell me you don't have time, well, that's possible. It's possible just the same as me that I'm prioritizing my time in a way that makes sense to me. What makes sense to you might not make sense to me, just as what's advertised to all of us may not make sense to any of us. based on what we're all trying to achieve collectively. When we're tied into the system with every bit of information that's coming our way, we recognize when one person is talking wellness and conservation and says that they're tied together and says everything, even the packaged items that we purchase, have a consequence. If I say that buying the best deal, getting the best deal on the vehicle, the cheapest possible recreation of a vehicle that you can get is something that may be not saving you money, then you might understand that what calls to someone's heart is what they should get. If you've got a child that wants to drive a fast car, maybe that's what they need to get, and to pay for it, they will have to figure out how to help pay that bill. Or they're lucky and they're one of those families where they just get what they want and crash it anyway. I don't know. What I do know is that when people pay, they pay attention. And so if someone has never paid for their previous wrecks, then they're going to continue to buy into the cheapest deal whatsoever. The cheapest deal is cost cutting. The cheapest deal is trying to find a way to skim the system, to get as much as I can get. That's not a great way. That doesn't help anyone else except for yourself. When you help yourself idly, when you help yourself in a way that's greedy, when you help yourself in a way that does not benefit the rest, that's just entitlement. There's no other word for it, but I've learned that it's very closely tied to bigotry, which is basically not hearing someone else's opinion based on whatever opinion you formed about them. So, bigotry is an interesting concept. One time I had someone get mad at a post that I made on Facebook. It was a post that it showed one pastor, and it said a message saying, Jesus taught peace is love, something like that, something inspirational and very simple. And I had someone on Facebook, a friend of mine, say, this is why I'm unfriending you. That man is basically this type of sinner or another. I just liked what it said. I had no idea who that man was. It could have had our former president Trump on there, and it could have said that, and if he would have said that, I would have quoted it. There are a lot of things that I can quote from a lot of people because every one of us has value to contribute to the situation. Every one of us has energy and money and time, and it's all the same. Every one of us has things that are either going to waste because we didn't enjoy them or because we wanted to safeguard them so much from the world. I once had a car that I didn't drive hardly ever. In fact, I bought another car. That way I could keep the first car with as few miles as possible. Well, guess what? Over the course of time, someone else ended up wrecking that car. You know, the tires still rotted, and you had to get new tires for it. The fact is, whether something is used to its maximum capacity or potential or not, same goes for us, we will all go to waste. And so, as we buy these resource depleting options over and over, what we need to consider is how renewable are those resources? Like, for an example, vehicles, instruments. I showcased a segment about bamboo guitars and talked about it because Yamaha made a sustainable idea-based guitar where the guitar was made out of bamboo, a fast-growing, replenishable wood versus these exotic forests that are being cut down at rates that are astronomical. I talked about that in one segment. That's one of the highest viewed segments on my page so far, and I believe that I'm striking a chord across the board. I may not be. If I am, give the video a like. If I am, don't forget to subscribe. If I am, don't forget to click the description. The description, I'll update when I have the time to update it. The message is about the same across the board. really I'm trying to bring attention to the wildlife that I'm seeing and what it's going through. So as you watch my previous videos, no matter what mood you see me in when I'm talking about wildlife, hear it out as an observer. Play it in the background, listen to it, maybe watch when I say, oh, watch, here's something just happened. Watch. But for sure, hear it with your heart. The same way I hear you with my heart when you ask for something. And I try to do the right thing and bring the right solution to the equation. There are only so many solutions to an equation. Many of them you can discount right off the bat if you know that they're not going to help. And a few of them will bring an exceptional change to the world. Like, for an example, incorporating a processor that allows ideas to be tied together across the board. We all know automation can be scary. It might put some of us out of work. How do you know? What is your work? What have you done for the world? For the whole? What have you done to help someone's dream come true? What have you done so that you're not just shopping one tire at a time? What have you done so that you have not disconnected conversation? Discounted whoever it is that you're talking with? What have you done to glorify one another? That's the secret. That's the secret of skirting on right past the storm as if it never existed, and sharing something that can maybe get picked up along the way, maybe can get picked up by the channels that this is actually intended for. I don't know who that is. I know that the viewership continues to grow. Thank you so much for subscribing. I am absolutely thrilled that I have now got a viewership of 200 viewers on my channel. That's a major thing to me. It's a major thing because we're not talking about easy subjects. We're talking about very complex material. And we're all trying to figure out what to do to make it all work. And so I think we're going to have something. Did you see it? We're all trying to make this work. A bird passed over. Did you see it? A big bird. I couldn't tell what it was. It could have been a Cherokee. It could have been an eagle. It could have been an osprey. I could not tell. All I know is in front of me, I see this strange column of rain, and I wonder about those phrases I heard on the movie Twister. I wonder on the Discovery channels if I am seeing a rain-wrapped funnel cloud. I wonder about a lot of things, but what I don't wonder about is if I'm going to be amazed today. I am absolutely amazed every single day of my life. I am putting God first, whether you want to call God the universe or tell me I'm being blasphemous by saying, oh, you can't call God by another name. Can't say Allah. Can't say whatever. I don't know. I'm not even reading the book in the original language. It was deciphered and translated by a lot of other people before me. People who have interests in everything. Whether it's how shocked someone might be when they hear the truth, or whether it's how docile they'll be when they sell them what we believe to have been the truth. The truth is peace, and a piece of junk is a piece of junk. When we're buying for the best value, when we're buying a contained bottle of water by packaged volume, and that I just passed a plastic bag of trash, and that packaged value comes with not only one plastic value, one plastic ring that holds on the cap, that's 3 pieces so far, one plastic wrapper that has the brand name, that's 4 pieces, but it also comes with the plastic wrapper that goes around the volume of plastic that I just named off. That's 5 pieces. And it comes at the expense of the plastic that we put it on, with all of the different plastic cards that we're buying to recharge gift cards wise. Plastic, 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 plastic. Talk about being nickeled and dimed. The well-off don't do really much anything differently except for try to not invest in things like poor foods, knock off oils. And the homes of the wealthy are rich foods and amazing oils. What is a rich food? Might be rich in vitamins and nutrients. That's a rich food. What are oils? Quality oils. That's how you dress up your food. I do have some packaged items, by the way. I'm not saying it's impossible or unimpossible to detach from it. Even this package itself with the nuts that I've got here. I've got a volume of goods to get me through what I'm about to go through. And for whatever reason, it's going to be offered to me over and over to take from other people's foods, especially if I say that I don't want to eat meat. And that I've gone, 20 or 30 days without meat so far. At that point, people get a little bit concerned. Even at this one recent get-together with family after a fire, where I was invited to this get-together, over and over I was asked by the concerned, by the anxious, did you eat something? Did you eat something? Did you eat something? As if somehow I'm going to perish by not having done something that I might blatantly forget to do. In today's world, we all know that we can pick from a multitude of foods at an overwhelming array of prices, generating an underwhelming array of waste along with it, or eating it straight from the source, where packaging is something that's basically, it's clothing optional, baby. Packaging optional. The instrument that you need to power you and to regain your health, which you'll see, is basically yourself. You need to know consciously what goes into your hands. What are you holding on to? Leather-wrapped steering wheel. I thank God for the animal and multiple animals that contributed to all of every bounty that I've ever been able to participate in. Their lives are every bit as amazing as the life of my own pets that I've loved, as the life of my own loves. Their lives are just as valuable, if not more so, because they gave their lives for us. Let me say that again. The food that we take from has given its life for us. Do we think of that food in that way, in that reverence? Thank you, God, for this food. Thank you, God, for this car. Thank you, God, for this 200 subscribers and growing. I'd like to take this moment to thank God for you, for everything that you've done to help bring joy to my life. I know I may not know you directly or even be aware of you, but then again, the more you see one another, and the more you see one another in one another, the more you understand we are aware of each other. We are aware that we can incorporate our systems together. We are aware that we can share an experience. So, the rain's getting kind of gnarly here. I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to just be awestruck by all of this rain. Look at it go by overhead. Free car wash. All I had to do was put in the miles to go and enjoy it in person. So, I'll talk to you when I talk to you. I hope I can upload this. I'm going to be working solely off of satellite at some point. Peace. love, and all that old school stuff.